What is up, Konnekt7 Tribe? For those of you who are new, my name is Thaddeus, and I am the host of Konnekt7 Podcast. And first and foremost, I want to say thank you for all of the newer people who tuned into last week's episode, or the last episode, with Alex Diego. So I sent him a message actually. I was letting him know. I was like, hey, dude, like you already got 3 countries like tuning into you. So shout out to those of you who are in Canada. Shout out to those of you who are in South America. And of course, thank you to all of our team here in the US. So I appreciate you, Tribe. And for those of you who are new, welcome to the Tribe. So today is not officially an episode, but it's an announcement episode. And I've been sitting here, and lately I've been really thinking about the direction that I wanted to take the podcast. And so just over, I want to say about a week or a little over a week or two, I was just really sitting down and writing down my notes. And I wanted to make sure I was doing things that were in alignment with my purpose, right? And for those of you who are, I would say, following your purpose or listening to your purpose, you understand there are some times where you have to take a moment to reflect and see how things are aligning with that purpose. And so, of course, this is the podcast where we're always being authentic here. And I noticed when I started the podcast, I want to say, or maybe a few years ago, it was sharing that gift of connection and helping other people learn how to connect. And so as I've been developing my gift and my purpose, again, which is connection, I decided let's take this up a notch and do things a bit differently. So the direction that I want to take the podcast is in a direction that's more supportive and helpful to the listeners. And here's what I mean. There are other people who have purposes that they're following. There are those of us who don't know really what our purpose is. But when we hear enough about how some people discovered their purpose, we kind of get clues or ideas that help us. So that's one thing. Another thing in a supportive way is that meeting and connecting with other people who, again, are following that purpose and are making the world a better place and supporting not just themselves, but those around them, a community, the world, and things like that. And so it just got me thinking that I wanted to shift the podcast in a way where when listeners come on, they can get a lot of information that's tied into or related to their purpose. Let me give you an example. If you are someone who may be into, we'll say videography. Let's just go with that. I'm not a video person, though I make videos, I know. But I'm not that's not my purpose, so to say, right? But there are some people who that's their business, that's their purpose. They have a vision, they have ideas, that's their thing. And I would say having that person on the podcast, like, hey, we'll say Anthony. Hey, Anthony, I would like for you to come on the podcast, share, your purpose with videography, how you discovered it, things like that. Because there may be some of you guys who listen to the podcast and you would love to know more about videography. Number one, how to build a business around it, maybe even just how to, work with it or get better at it. And listening to a podcast where not only can you hear from someone who's doing something similar to what you're doing, but you can also get in contact with that person specifically versus now like, okay, well, I like this, but I don't really know anybody who I can talk with, because not a lot of us have that circle or people that we can just contact, or most people aren't as easily accessible when it comes to the things that we're trying to work on and build. So creating the podcast where it has that support structure where you tune in, you get great insight, it helps you with your purpose. And now if you need more questions or you wanted to connect with someone who's following that purpose, you can connect with that particular guest speaker. So, like I said, just shifting that direction of the podcast, because before I was really just sharing just skills and interpersonal skills on really how to connect with other people and yourself. I'm still going to do that, but now just taking it to a different level with guest speakers and things like that. So this is something that's just kind of been on my mind, and I wanted to share it with you all. Now that you guys got the picture, let me break it down to how this would go, right? So for the guest speakers that I'm particularly looking to speak with, and this can be yourself, there are 3 criteria that I'm looking for you to be on the podcast. So let me get my notes, because I always got to have my notes, y'all. So, and for those of you who are new to the podcast, I do look down when I'm reading my notes so I can stay on track, because I can go left or right, whatever. In this case, this was my right. But yes. Okay, so the first criteria is that, number one, if you're wanting to be a guest speaker, number one, you have to be in alignment with your purpose as well. That's the main thing. For me to have you on here, you need to be in alignment with your purpose. Knowing what it is, you're actively following it, you're doing things towards it, whatever. And you don't have to be, an expert yet. You don't have to be someone who's, I've been in the game for over 5+ years. I know what I'm talking about. Like, no, you could have just started following your purpose a year ago. As long as you're following your purpose and you're gaining some experience and this definitely can help people, by all means, boom. That's one criteria you can check off. So the second criteria is willing to share your knowledge and expertise, right? So that's part of that support role. You're not only supporting yourself, but you're supporting those around you. You're supporting a bigger community, and eventually, you're just supporting, people around the world, right? So you have to be willing to share, your knowledge and your expertise. And this is why I put this as a criteria, because there are people who are following their purpose, but they kind of don't want to shade too much. They feel like people are in either competition with them or trying to take from them or one up them. So if you're one of those people that feel like, hey, I want to share too much because you might steal this, then stay where you at. But if you're someone who's willing to share and willing to help other people, as they say, what's the show one, teach one, or teach one, grow, something like that. If you're willing to share with other people, great. That's the second one, cross, right? And then the third one is that you're intentional about connecting with others, right? So that is very vital to the podcast. That's very vital. I would even say to life, but specifically on my platform, is very, very vital that you're intentional about connecting with other people. Because if you're, whatever it is, following your purpose, I've come to find that for a lot of people, no matter what your purpose is going to require you to connect with people somewhere down the line. Some people more than others, some people not as much, but you're going to have to learn how to connect with people. So if you're a person who's intentional about, okay, hey, I want to share, my knowledge. Number one, I'm following my purpose. Number two, I am willing and I would love to share my knowledge and expertise, and I also make connections with people to help them grow. Then by all means, please come to the podcast so that I can, talk with you. I can ask you, some questions, things like that. And not only is it me and you connecting, but you're connecting with other listeners who could get into contact with you, who may have more questions, or hey, they may want you to teach them some things, So I look at it as a win-win-win. And that's those are the 3 criteria. I will probably put that in the video somewhere down here. And probably have it in the comment section. So that's one thing. And now, how do we go about this, right? How do we get this action, this plan in motion? Is for all of you guys, a lot more people. You have networks, right? My network is only but so big. So If you know people who fit that criteria of number one, again, they're in alignment with their purpose. Number two, willing to share their knowledge and expertise. And number three, are intentional about connecting with people. If you know someone like that, by all means, either tag me in their posts on my social medias or tag them in my posts. I always have my contact information in the comment section. The comment section of the podcast. You can email me if you're one of those people. Like, you can shoot me an email and let me know. I can look at what you do. We can talk. We can plan something out. But yes, tag me or tag them in my content, or send them, send me an email. Email them and let them know. Share this video with them. Another thing I would even say, if you know me like personally, hell, text me like, hey, or send me a link to somebody or whatever. And we can just really take it from there, because that's the direction that I want to take the podcast. That's the direction that I am taking the podcast. So I just wanted to really just share that with you all, because like I said, this came from me sitting down and just reevaluating how things are going with my purpose and doing the things that I love and putting that in alignment with my purpose. I know that for me personally, like I said, I'm really good at connecting with people. Over this week or two, I have to give credit to my sister, even Alex as well. He doesn't know this, but after talking with him, after we recorded the episode, kind of later on after that, I was thinking of like, this would really be cool if I focus more on this and that next time. So he'll probably be back on soon. And my sister, when we were just talking, and she was just saying like, you and your family always have like the connections. And I was just like, what do you mean? She was like, if you need something, I just know to ask you. Like, she said, if I need like help with something, or do you know somebody that does this? I'm like, oh yeah, like we have a car person for the family, or we have this person for the family, or I know somebody that does this. And she was like, yeah, exactly. You know everybody that does something. So it made me think, and I was like, that does tie into my gift. I do like to connect with a lot of people. And I just thought, what? Let's bring that to the podcast. Let's take that further. I don't want to just keep that for myself and my family. You know what I mean? Let me share that with other people. So if I know someone who is really doing something similar to your purpose, I would love to bring them on, so that it helps you. Y'all two can connect. Y'all might be best friends. You know what I mean? And vice versa. And I just look at it as a win-win-win. So again, just creating a platform where it's supportive, and at the same time, everybody gains and learns something and connects with a new person. So again, that's what's happening now, guys. So the podcast may be a little different, still the same. I got to make sure I have y'all fun facts and things like that. So it'll still have the same flow. You may notice the questions might be a little bit more direct, more purposeful, and still keeping that same energy of connecting, more with people. But I'm wanting to make sure not just me and the guest speaker are, just connecting, but also you all benefiting from things as well. And sorry about the noise. Anyways, y'all might not even hear that. I hear it. But yes. So yeah, that's what's going on. Just keeping everything more purposeful, so that not me and the guest speaker are just sharing, but it's also a space where everybody can benefit and gain from. So that is really the announcement episode that I wanted to share with you all. And of course, this is the tribe, Konnekt7 Tribe. So if you know somebody in your network tribe, let's just come together and just bring these people on, and let's just create this huge network where we're supporting each other and helping each other grow and get more in alignment with our purpose. And I'm really passionate about this because we live in a world where there's so much stuff going on, so much distractions, and a lot of us, we have these talents and these gifts and these abilities to make the world a better place, but we just lack the resources, or we lack the people, to know. And so me knowing my purpose is just connecting, just wanting to really do my part to help you all connect with someone who may have those resources, or you help someone who needs the resources that you know up here, right? Because hey, at the end of the day, we're all one. We're all one people, and no matter what everybody else say, a lot of people be looking at differences and how we're disconnected. But the funny thing is, we're so freaking connected. It's not even funny, and you can deny it all you want, but this is going to be the podcast where I'm going to constantly remind you that that's not the case, that you are very much connected. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to share this announcement episode with you all. And again, if you know somebody, please connect us together. Send me a link them to the page, share this episode, tag me, email me, whatever it is, so we can get this thing started. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. I greatly appreciate you all. And please enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe out here in these streets. Eat your fruits and vegetables. Take your personal days. Make sure your mental, your emotional is nice and right. Make sure you take care of you. Feed your dog. That's random, I know. Drink plenty of water. And keep being great. And we will connect very soon, guys. So let's stay connected. Love talking with you, our tribe. And I'll see you soon. Later.